This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 92 of Beers in the Lot. Daniel and Eric and John just got back from the Hockey Fights MS tournament up in Pennsylvania, so we talked about that for a little bit. Then we started talking about the playoffs and results of the first round. And then we briefly touched on the Department of Players something. So let's get to it.
What are you drinking tonight, Riggs?
We had a time up at Hockey Fights MS Hershey tournament. So I think I'm doubling up. I have a blue light beer night.
Who among us has not wanted to double up from time to time? It's okay.
Yeah, I just, didn't make it anywhere today, so.
Spiritually or physically.
What about you, Johnny?
I have a Busch Light as well.
Yeah.
I'm on the easy bus tonight. What about you, Danny?
Yep, also on the easy bus. I have a High Low by Cigar City Brewing. So not very high. I don't know if many of our listeners followed my journey of breweries on Saturday night. Like Rigg said, we had a time. And what does Aaron have tonight?
It must be opposite day or something. I've got from our friends at Flying Dog. I've got a Hop Electric Hazy IPA.
Golf clap.
I'm drinking an IPA, and you guys are all drinking light beers. What is going on?
You're drinking a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you think.
And
honestly, this is delicious. I really like this.
Yeah.
This is really good. It's got none of the bite that I associate with an IPA, like none whatsoever. It's just smooth as can be. I really like it. This is really good.
Glowing endorsement.
Glowing endorsement. Absolutely.
Glowing.
Yeah, it's really good. Surprisingly good. Those guys at Flying Dog, they know how to make a beer.
They've been around.
They've been around the block a few times. Yep. Not their first rodeo. Speaking of rodeos.
Uh-oh.
There's been one this past few days, huh?
Yeah, may have ridden a bull.
Yeah, at times it was like a rodeo. Johnny's. We mentioned it in Discord, but Johnny's RV plans worked out. It all worked out in the end. The Airbnb RV.
Yeah,
John and I.
Yeah, they didn't rent an RV. They got to stay in an RV.
Yeah. It's an Airbnb RV from Seth, gracious host.
Yeah, on Airbnb. So really quick, I'll go into it. So kind of when we decided, what was this, month and a half ago, roughly, that we were doing this, Rigg said he was going to stay with family. So it was actually Brando and I from Flying Dog, former guest. We were like, oh, we'll find some place, and we were either going to do a hotel or an Airbnb. So I started looking at Airbnbs, and they all kind of were like, ho hum, I can get a hotel, blah blah. And I saw this RV on a campsite, luxury campsite, I might.
Luxury RV.
Luxury RV.
So I was like, right from the jump, I'm like, I want to get this. This is what I want. And then as we kind of went back and forth on a while, and finally we're like, let's just get the hotel. So I was away this week for work in between meetings and stuff. And I see these texts flying from Riggs. Plans changed. He had to stay with Brando and I. And I just very quickly, in between meetings, ducking in here and there, in the truck, getting around driving. I said, hey guys, kind of jokingly at first, hey, I think the RV is still available. It sleeps 4. Wink, wink. And so like an hour later, I get up another meeting and I just see like text from Brandon and Eric, book it. So like I just like did it in like 10 seconds. And then I went silent on the chat for like 3.5 hours because I went into another meeting. Like I did it really quick. And oh God, couldn't have had a better time. We were thriving.
We were thriving.
Yeah. Tell everybody about our Saturday morning, Riggs.
Saturday, well, so we had a plan going up that Saturday morning we didn't have to play on Saturday until 2:30 in the afternoon. So, we'd get up in the morning and, have a nice leisurely time. So Friday night, before we went to the first game, we grabbed some bacon and eggs and some orange juice, and John brought his Chemex and all the coffee paraphernalia. And so when we got up Saturday morning, I got started on the bacon and eggs, and then John made the coffee, and we sat around and had breakfast and had coffee, and then we got into some beers that Brando brought, some new Flying Dog beers, and we had a time. It was just it was great.
And it was so great because at first it started like this little rumor. So the cool thing about I can say it for our team, maybe for Danny's too, because I know some of the guys that Danny play with too. Our team, like, it was a bunch of guys who like knew each other one way or another, or traveled in the same circles, one way, shape, or form. So like Eric and I played on a team a few years ago with another guy on the team, and we don't play on the same teams anymore, but Eric still plays against him here and there. So like we all kind of knew each other one way or another. So when Eric, I, and Brando walked in the locker room at like 9:30 at night for our game, everyone's like, I heard you guys got like a camper or something. Like, what are you guys doing? It started like this, kind of like urban legend almost. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what? And then on Saturday when we came in, we told them about our Saturday morning, and they were like, oh my God, that's so much better than what we did. Like we went to like McDonald's or something. Like you guys got like,
we had the continental breakfast in the
yeah. I was making jokes about the continental
motel.
breakfast. I was like, yeah, enjoy your continental breakfast, stale Danishes and old Apple Jacks and stuff. Like, yeah. So
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, ate really well too.
I just thought it was so funny because I was at my in-laws have an RV, so I kind of know a little bit about this stuff. So I said, "Do you guys have a full hookup site? Like you got the electric and the water and everything?" And Rigsby just responds, "It's a luxury RV."
Yeah, I can confirm yes. I can confirm yes.
That's what the title of the Airbnb is luxury RV.
It was just so funny because everybody was under the impression that you got an RV and drove it up there.
Oh yeah, there was a guy, one of the guys that plays with us in OFBG now. He's good, Danny pals around with him, and he actually was a hanger on with their team for the weekend. We were trying to invite him to come to Trogs with us. Great Hershey brewery, by the way, if you're in town.
Yes, it is.
So we were trying to get him to come to dinner with us at Trogs, and basically ditch those flunkies, and he was
held
like,
hostage by you guys. It's ridiculous.
he was like, oh yeah,
Stockholm
sure.
syndrome with him.
He's like, yeah, I'll go with you guys. So we start walking out into the parking lot, and we walk up to Brando's SUV, and he's like, where's the RV? And we're like, what do you mean? It's at the campsite. He's like, I thought you guys like were driving around in an RV. We're like, no.
Oh, man.
He was disappointed. He left us. He went back inside.
And both mornings when we got up, we heard horses, dogs, and goats.
And cows.
There
was a working farm next door that we were not to go to. We were not.
We did not.
Oh,
yeah.
You're banished.
We were not. There was a sign. So the little driveway for the campsite there's a sign when you're exiting that says no left turn, private property or something like that. So even though they have goat yoga there.
Goat yoga.
Yeah, apparently.
Which I'll speak for myself. I could have used this morning. I was a little stiff.
Yeah.
Stiff.
It was awesome.
Danny, give us a little rundown about your time.
Well, I think you said it best when I told you about our accommodations. What did you say? Or Macaulay Culkin.
What?
Or Macaulay Culkin with Dad's credit card.
Yeah. It's Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin in the Plaza Hotel.
Yeah, we had the
Yeah.
we had the opposite accommodations as they did. We had a suite that had a full kitchen, a living room.
We had a full kitchen.
We had all
room.
those things. I'm confused with the issue here.
Multiple TVs.
How many
did
TVs?
3.
We only had 2.
We had 2.
Sorry about it. No, it was good, man.
Did you have a fire pit?
Yeah, you didn't have a fire pit.
Did you have a fire pit?
We did outside, but
you could have made one anywhere you wanted.
Time out. So that was a community one, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our own.
Yeah, we had our own. It was private. It was very private.
You had to share it with Seth if he wanted to come.
I welcomed him. It was raining, though. It was raining each night.
He could have rolled up in the ATV.
Yeah. It was raining both nights, so we couldn't use it.
How about the hockey, though? How did you guys do with the hockey?
Well, it was hockey.
Not the most important part of the weekend.
Actually,
No.
I'll sum it up best.
The fighting the MS and then the rest of it. The hockey was
very well organized, insanely well organized. Everything was done really well. Had no confusion or anything with that. And even the teams we played against, like I'm a little unsure after seeing some of the divisions and whatnot, like how it was kind of calibrated. And I think that's kind of like a work in progress for any tournament, especially when like you get teams that just show up, it's their first time, like versus like kind of the Johnstown tournament. It's almost the same people every year. Like one way or another, you see the same group of guys. But we had no incidents. Everyone was cool. So for me, that's a bonus.
A success.
It was a success. Yeah. I heard there was a tilt on the one rink.
Yeah.
I did hear
was
there
there
a tilt.
Yeah,
yes, I heard there was
one of the finals.
Oh wow!
There was a big brouhaha.
Nice.
And apparently, like a good one. Like they dropped gloves, tapped up. Here we go. No, nothing.
Cool.
No ballyhoo.
That's cool.
Yeah,
straight up jailhouse rules.
Did you guys get cookies?
Yes.
Nice.
We
Cookies
got too many cookies. I think
we got a lot of cookies.
We got a lot of cookies.
We had real like food cookies, and we got cookies.
Yeah. You guys had none of those.
Brando's
both
wife,
literal and figurative.
Brando's wife sent some homemade cookies.
Oh man!
Yeah. Nice. So on Saturday night when we got back after our sheets run, we demolished some sheets and then like ate all those cookies.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, it was kind of funny. So like unfortunately we got paired up in the division with like this team that probably should have got moved. And whatever, it is what it is. Like I said, it's a tournament. It's kind of tough. It's a crapshoot. So I don't hold anyone accountable for it. We did really well against that team, double digits in terms of differential. And at one point, like it was getting a little silly, and I think their goalie just was not having it anymore, which is kind of a pain as a shooter because you don't want to like aim high or anything. So you just shoot it on the ice, and even when it does go in, it's not fun. I think I said something to the effect of, "Oh, a bunch of cookie monsters out here tonight," like something like that. I was just being funny. Everyone kind of loved it. So
such a cheeky guy.
Yeah,
so cheeky.
Sunday there was a little colorful stuff though, but all in good fun. There's nothing. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, we had to be consoled and play them again.
Yeah,
and, yeah. So we didn't get a tiebreaker or something to get in the championship. So we had to play them again, and it was kind of like we all kind of informally met before, and then I guess the refs talked to both teams, and we decided we weren't going to play the full game under normal rules. We'll just play 2 20-minute halves, running time, no icings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the refs go no icings.
Yeah. It was great. So we just had fun with those guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there was like a lot of like cheeky banter going back and forth. Nothing like malicious or anything. It was all in good fun.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Sounds like a good time all around.
Yeah.
And
Good
Danny
event.
did ride a bull, apparently. So
Yes, I did. That was after four breweries.
Breweries.
Actually, yeah, that Mount Gretna brewery place was a cool spot.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
Like their beer's good. Their food is great. Like they have great food.
What did we get there Friday night, Riggs?
The Brewmaster burger, which was a half-pound burger with deep fried pierogies on top of it, smothered in beer cheese with bacon crumbled in it.
oh,
And the best
that
is
sounds delicious.
I forget which one
It
of
was
us
amazing.
asked. I forget which one of us asked though when we were like, because it said changes weekly. Ask your server.
Yeah.
So when our server came back around, who actually, funny enough, she was a Carolina Hurricanes fan. Found that out.
Yeah.
We asked, and in the middle of her going through description, she said half-pound burger with 2 pierogies, and I was the first one who was like, say no more. I'll have one of those with the tater tots, please.
Say
Like, I
less.
just said, no, you had me a pierogi, ma'am. You could have just told me the brew house burger was like plain Wonder Bread with pierogies on it, and I would have ate it. Guaranteed.
So then he orders it, and then Brando and I are both like, make it 2, make it 3.
3, yeah. Round of brewmasters for the boys.
And then we made friends with the troubadour that was in there playing guitar and taking requests.
David Gates music.
David Gates. Look him up if you're in Central PA. He's awesome.
Absolutely. So we asked politely, he just had like kind of a request. So we put 5 or 6 on the sheet. And we also did a second sheet of like another 3 or 4 songs. And as we were driving home yesterday, the last song was Jack and Diane. That was on the second sheet. And it played. So I just was in the back seat. I'm like, we heard all the David Gates request songs at this point now. Everything that was on it.
No, but he was
list.
great because like we requested. Well, the very first song was Wonderwall, so he played that first, and of course, like we're screaming it, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
and then everybody in the place kind of got the idea, so everybody was requesting like mid to late 90s pop songs.
Yes.
So everybody knew all the words. Everybody was singing, clapping, and having fun and laughing and everything. And then he even said at one point, he's like, this is the best show I've ever had. Like everybody's clapping and like actually paying attention.
Yeah.
So then like it was getting close to time to head over to the rink. So we got, we paid and we get up, and as we're leaving, everybody gave us a round of applause.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And kind of the funny thing too is like there were more and more people that started filtering through. So Wonderwall, we kind of sung like I would definitely say like 60 to 70%. A lot of the other songs, just because we were in the middle of a conversation, we'd only sing the chorus. So like it'd be kind of like you just hear the music, people are talking, and then
randomly.
Randomly you just hear these 3 drunk idiots start yelling the chorus. So it was great.
It was awesome.
Like Cranberry Zombie.
Yeah,
John
Cougar
Zombie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains Wood. That was another one. I'll actually post the first set list we did. I took a photo of the set list. Actually, I took a photo of the
First
set
set
list.
we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Not him.
Yeah. We were backup vocals.
Yeah.
So Sweater Song by Weezer, Vaseline by STP, Wonderwall from Oasis, and Jane's Addiction, Jane Says.
Oh yeah, Jane Says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a fabulous tune. He didn't have like the Jamaican drum set though. That would
Yeah,
be
he
a little
didn't
better,
have
but-
he didn't
Yeah.
have all the.
Give him a pass.
Yeah.
Give him a pass there.
Oh, he gets a total pass. Yeah. I would have done that on the bar table. Like I would have made sure he got the sound. You know? I would have totally made sure. Don't worry.
And you guys came back and played no FPG. How many games over the weekend you guys play?
5 total.
5, yeah.
Skated harder than some of the clowns that only played one.
I tried to. My legs stopped working. I almost broke down.
I was theragunning my body in the parking lot as I was talking to Danny. Started doing my arms, shoulders, my legs. And at first he goes like, our one buddy was sitting in the back of the truck and he was like, "What are you hitting yourself with?" Like he had no clue. I was just like standing there like, he thought at first it was like my phone. I was just hitting myself with my phone or something. I was like, no, it's a massage gun. This is great.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you okay? No, I'm just really upset about the Leafs game.
I am and I am not. I wanted Tampa to lose, but I also wanted Toronto to lose. Because the memes, obviously. But but I also want Tampa to lose, so rock and a hard place. But yeah, TO's out. Everybody's out. Pittsburgh's out. Caps are out. After 5 game 7s in the first round.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy weekend.
Yeah. Crazy weekend in Hershey. Crazy weekend around the NHL.
I'm just glad Dallas is out. That team never scores. I'm just sick of talking about them. I'm happy for Jake Ottinger, like how he had a really great series. That's awesome. But like, come on. Like, am I the only one that's taking crazy pills here that keeps seeing Dallas make the playoffs? Can't deal with it. And I liked Daryl Sutter. He said something to the effect of like, it was the day of game 7 last night. He said like, "Oh, good day today," and he's like, "Yeah, there were like baby geese outside. The sun was rising on the farm. It was awesome." Like he just like cool as a cucumber, doesn't even care. And actually, he's like the all-time right, Riggs. He's like the all-time winner for coaches in game 7s.
Or he's coached
the
so
most.
many, something like that. I forget what it was, but
I think he's like 8-3 or something crazy.
Yeah,
something like that. But now it's a Battle of Alberta.
Yep.
Yes.
Battle of Alberta. Love to see it. That's going to be exciting. Calgary and Oilers.
Should be good.
Yep.
And you got the Battle of Florida.
Yeah, then on the opposite end of the continent, you got Battle of Florida. Tampa and the Cats, yeah.
I think if the Cats get a little bit of form, I don't see the Braden Pointless Bolts beating them. Unless Vassy stands on his head, but I wasn't impressed with him in the Toronto series. He looked fine, but he didn't look like his normal world beating self, to me at least.
Yeah. I mean, they're a different team than they were, the past 2 years. They're not the same. So
Well, yeah, but Nick Paul and Hagel chipped in game 6 and 7, and they're that third line. So I mean that maybe they're coming into form. I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
It's the end of the era though in Washington, Boston, and Pittsburgh, I think.
Yep. There's a lot of talk about Bergeron. Bergeron's probably done up in Boston. So yeah, there's probably going to be a bit of that. Who knows what's going on in Pittsburgh? Who knows who's coming back between Letang and Malkin? So who knows?
Band-Aid now. Let's do it. Peel it. Get it done. Done with it.
And then same thing in Washington. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in this offseason? So we'll see. But yeah, I think end of an era is kind of. We've been talking about it the whole season. It's like, the window is kind of closing. Definitely for Pittsburgh and Washington and probably Boston too. So be interesting to see how that goes in the offseason. But Canes get the Rangers. Want to beat the Rangers. I don't think the Rangers are where they belong. I don't know. They're relying way too much on their goalie, it seems like to me. I mean, they won the series against Pittsburgh, but there's an awful lot of Shesterkin that got him there, I think. So we'll see.
Rangers suck.
That kind of continued the trend from the regular season, though. Is
Yeah.
they would kind of like their numbers are good, but they would kind of rely on him too much to bail him out against good teams or whatever. But also, like, if you look at like New York and Carolina, Florida, I mean, those were the top teams in the East.
Yep.
So things kind of worked out the way that they were supposed to, even though they might have taken longer than some people thought they would have.
Right.
You know. But
yeah, I don't know that anybody would have predicted all the game sevens.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, like you said, it worked out the way seeding works. So
yeah.
Top teams came out on top.
Really, the only team that air quotes finished business, if you will, was Colorado. They've been sitting pretty for almost a full week.
Hey, going back to Sutter, he predicted that.
Exactly. He said it.
Remember that?
I sent the clip in the Discord.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, you want to get, his voice, like, you got to get the first seed. I think playing Colorado is a waste of 8 days."
Yeah.
I mean, he was 190% right.
Yep.
And I remember like jokingly saying, like, maybe that's something for his team to kind of like needle them, like, hey, like, you guys are doing very well, but you're not doing what they're doing over there. Like, they're onto something there. And yeah, Jake Ottinger had like, it was like almost a 950 save percentage in the series. Like he played stupid crazy good. So good for him.
What was that? What was that picture I shared? The first period was like 43 shots.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they outshot.
But the game was tied.
That's the thing. Like Dallas,
Unreal.
and Dallas, it continues a trend when it was Khudobin, during their cup run. Like Dallas should not have won any of those games, any of them. They just hung around, and then got a goal. But Dallas, I mean, I'd almost throw part of them in that Pittsburgh, Washington, Boston thing, because they're old up front with Jamie Benn, Sagan, Pavelski, and Pavelski, I think, re-signed for like another year or something. But Ben and Sagan, they're not what they were. They're so banged up. Like Ben had the double hip surgery like 2 or 3 years ago. Sagan's beat up. They're not what they were. It's Robertson and Hintz's team now. But they got a lot of retooling just, in the offseason, I think, because Klimberg at one point wanted a damn trade. So I'm just glad the Flames won. Thank God. I stayed up and listened to the game on the radio when I got home. I was like, maybe I'll get some luck after staying in a lot and watching on a phone the Penguins lose. So it was actually kind of funny. The second that happened, like it went in, we're like, like it got quiet very quickly. Like even the guys who were just watching that don't care, they're just like, oh, the phone went away. I can't see the replay. Oh.
Did you see that on the game tying goal? Pedersen had to leave the ice because of his helmet.
Sid was not happy about that. He was big mad.
Yeah, but apparently it was like almost a year ago that Penguins got clarification on that rule. Pedersen could have actually picked up his helmet and put it back on.
That is the rule. You can pick it up.
Yeah.
But it has to, I think it's written somewhere like player has to make best effort to put on the helmet before rejoining play. Like he couldn't have skated up the ice with it in his hand and throwing it on. He has to like literally just like plop it on.
But it would have been quicker than going to the bench.
The only thing that aggravates me about that rule is you see goalies without blockers and gloves continuing to face shots.
Yeah.
But a guy with a helmet off, I mean, especially growing up, like that was part of the thing. Like Alexei Kovalev scored a goal without a helmet. It looks sick. Like, but he was out there for like 35, 40 seconds before it even happened. That's my only gripe. Like if you're going to do it for player safety, like the second a goalie loses their glove or blocker, helmet, they blow it every time. But like,
you saw how Pedersen's helmet came off, right?
Yeah. It was not a normal situation.
No, it was
a lot of weird.
The other player did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laugh did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we start seeing that. Guys are just skating down the ice, ripping each other's helmets off.
Yeah. Well, I think they should just make it.
Lawlessness.
You should just make it like make them sign it. Like, hey, if your helmet comes off, sign this. If you get injured and your helmet's off, then you can't sue us or something.
Well,
I mean, how many people have been injured with their helmet off? Have you guys ever like seen anybody lose a helmet and then get injured from their helmet not being on?
In fighting back when they did that, yeah. It's a different scenario, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah. I don't know. It's just it's a tricky bag of worms.
I mean, it's not like the when they got rid of the icing, where guys would skate down the ice and just like blast into the wall and like blow their knees out and stuff. It's not happening all the time. So I mean,
I think it's just another case of the inconsistency in the NHL's player safety strategy, whatever you want to call it. I don't think there is any kind of logical strategy there. So it's kind of like, oh, well, helmets protect the head. So if your helmet comes off, put it back on or leave the ice. Like it seems like it's such a random thing compared to everything else that goes on. Compared to
right.
Some of the weird ass things that have happened in the playoffs so far that you would think would get looked at or harsher
like a guy getting
punishment.
Elbowed in the head. Yeah,
exactly. Like it doesn't, it's just another case of the inconsistency with NHL player safety to me.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because it's like, obviously as fans, it's very like black and white. We're like, well, player safety, that clearly was not someone trying to attempt to make a safe play on anything. I mean, the one that is such a glaring issue in the playoffs, I know we talked about, like the Kyle Clifford one in game 1, the Darnell Nurse where he did the headbutt, like those are kind of like, I wouldn't say softballs. Easy. Yeah, not saying straight softballs, but like those are like, oh yeah, totally.
Seems like getting it right would be really easy.
The Jared Spurgeon one still kills me because Charlie McAvoy was just slashing people and got like a 5K fine, like a slash. But Jared Spurgeon, I made the joke. I was like, he went like Mel Gibson in The Patriot with a tomahawk on his on Buchneviz's ankle. Like he was, it almost looked like he was trying to break his Achilles. And the thing that is ridiculous is he clearly looks down. He knows that skate boot. He's aiming at the top of the tendon guard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like clearly he's to inflict some sort of pain.
Yeah. Clearly intending to injure. Like there's no mistake about it. That is as clear cut as it gets.
5K. Oh, Jared Spurgeon, that's a drop in the bucket for him. And I'm not saying you make like a 100K fine. I'm not saying that. But like,
give him a game.
Give him a game.
Give him a game. Yeah.
I mean,
at least
it's stupid.
Like I get that the PA wants to have some ability to say, no, you can't fine our guys loads of money and all that stuff. I get that. But at the same time, the PA represents the guy who's getting his ankle chopped off.
Right.
I mean, they got to be looking out for him too. If it's clearly intent to injure, then get that guy off the ice for a game at bare minimum. Yes. I mean, it seems like it's such an easy thing to figure out. Again, with the inconsistency.
Can you imagine if they have to sit and so at the beginning of the NHL season, they have like usually the player reps go to the NHLPA meetings and then they all go through like the officiating standards of the season. Then they roughly communicate it back to their teams. From what I've seen, like some player reps take it a little more seriously than others. Imagine if Buchnevich and Spurgeon are sitting next to each other in the fucking meeting and that's the one they show.
Yeah, right?
Like, I mean, like
whoops. It looked like a Pavel Barber video. You know, you see the videos? You just can't do this. You can't just take your stick and try to hack a guy's leg off.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't do that.
He was watching the Bass Rutten videos before his game.
Yeah, the
bar fight. Lethal bar fighting technique.
Create distance and rupture his Achilles.
God.
All right, well, that'll do it for 92. Thank you all for listening. As always, we always appreciate your support. So keep those ratings and reviews and likes and follows coming, and we'll keep the content coming every Wednesday. In the meantime, check out beersandalot.com. You can find the info for our Patreon and, of course, our Discord. Come join us. But until next week, thanks again for listening. See ya.